Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy you have joined us today. My name is Elena Sarango Muñiz. For those of you that have not met me yet, I am a volunteer for ICF Houston. I just recently obtained my ACC, yay! And I've been doing this for a year and a half now since I started my own business as an executive coach. I work with corporations, their leaders and their teams as an executive and leadership coach. And I also do workshops and keynote speaking. I love speaking in front of public. So here I am also learning a lot through this Coach Launchpad. Every month, I try to bring you a guest that can bring a different topic for you and me to learn about our business, creating this beautiful business that we are all aspiring to have or that we already started as individual coaches, private coaches. Maybe some of you are still working for a company or for an organization and are thinking about starting your own business. Well, this is the right place. We do this to help you with that. So hopefully, and I know not hopefully, today you will be learning a lot of the skills and the tips and tools for branding. But I will stop talking and I'm going to introduce you to our speaker, and I'm going to spotlight her. And let me introduce you to Miss Kelly. There she is, Kelly Bugner. Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
Kelly coached me not too long ago. I have met her through the Women's Entrepreneur Council. We are both women entrepreneurs, and I met her through our monthly meetings. And I also hired Kelly to coach me on a specific topic that I needed to work on for a conference that I'm going to be presenting at. And Kelly was spent 2 hours with me here at home, and it was amazing. We created something amazing, and I am so excited about my event in a week, actually. But without further ado, Kelly, welcome to the Coaches Launchpad. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. How long would you like me to speak?
So we have until 1 o'clock,
All
but
right.
we always leave about 15 minutes for questions.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I can move this down. All right. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Kelly Buckner. I'm the owner of Be Bold. I'm a brand strategist. So I work with small business owners, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs who want to make sure their brand is consistent, whether online and in person. I teach Canva, smartphone photography, AI, and social media. I offer workshops and I work with people one-on-one. So we're going to be talking about a topic I love and I'm specialized in, and it's your visual identity today. So a lot of people kind of throw this together, especially if you're starting out in your business and entrepreneur, you kind of want to make sure, oh, I need to have a visual brand really quick. So we bring in, we throw it together and we put it out in the world. And like, for instance, when I first started, I had a brand and a look and a vibe, if you will, and it worked for me at the time. But then as my business grew, so did my brand. It grew with me. So then I need to analyze that and show up exactly who I am at that moment. So don't worry if you have, like, let's just say you have a visual brand now. That doesn't mean that you are 100% forever locked into it. Think about Instagram, and they used to have the old logo that had the brown antique camera, if you remember when it first came out, and now it's got the rainbow icon. So as their business grew, their brand grew with it. So don't feel like you're locked in. It is something that can grow with you, but it doesn't mean that you need to change it, every year or whatever. Be consistent. So let's get into it. Also, if you have any questions during the presentation, make sure to pop them into the chat so that later on when we do Q&A, they can be there and I can help answer any questions for you. So your visual brand is so, so important. And consistency is, I can just tell you, consistency is going to build trust. It's literally one of the most important things across all platforms, across no matter where you show up in the world. Consistency matters. Whether you show it on social media, your website, marketing materials, email campaigns, presentations, it does not matter. We're going to talk about using Canva and smartphone photography and all of that. So show up consistently. It really, really enhances how your customer sees you and perceives you. And it's very, very, very important. Okay, I'm going to move this little thing out of the way so I can see. Why your visual brand matters. Visual branding impacts first impressions. And let me tell you, in a world where everybody is throwing stuff out there in the world visually on social media and everywhere else, people are overstimulated. I tell people when I'm doing a workshop, at the top of your paper, I want you to write, people are goldfish. I mean, they have no ability to retain content anymore for long periods of time. So that first little impression that you put out in the world, that first moment that they see you and interact with you, they decide in milliseconds whether they want to interact with your brand. Think about how you interact on social media. When you're scrolling through social media, a brand has very little time to grab you, very little time to build trust with you. And all of that matters. And it really solidifies that beginning of the relationship you have with your audience. Consistency builds trust and recognition. So think of your biggest brands that you know of. It doesn't matter if they're in the service industry or product industry. It does not matter. It's really important that you are consistent all the way through, and it builds trust. It says, hey, these people pay attention to details. They pay attention. They are going to be, if they're consistent in this, they're going to be consistent in this, and helping me and making sure that my experience is at the all-time high. So it's all subconscious, but it really does resonate, and it's very important. So bold visuals help connect you faster and emotionally. So less is more. I would rather you have it as super bold, simple ad campaign or a social media post than something that's filled with all kinds of text and overstimulated. We are all overstimulated. I mean, raise your hand if you're overstimulated. I'm like so tired. I mean, so much graphics, so much content is being thrown at us all the time. And if you want to cut through the noise, if you want to get to where your customer is, less is more. Hands down, it's always the case. Okay. So think about strong brands. Strong brands that we know of are simple. Like one of the things that whenever someone comes to me and they say, okay, I need a logo or I need a visual brand established, or I want to revisit my brand and rebrand myself so that I'm a little bit more eye-catching and known. Well, consistency and minimalism are going to pay off in the long run. Think about your logo is not your marketing. Okay. Everybody needs to separate your logo from your marketing. Your marketing can have a lot of energy and a lot more to it. Your logo, though, needs to be simple because it needs to be able to be recognized, whether it's very, very small, like a very small icon, or whether it's really large. And simple is, but you can add to it later in your marketing tools. But think about Apple. I mean, they don't even put the word Apple, y'all. There's like no word. There's just like the icon, and you know what it is. You don't have to like question it. There are some brands though, it's like all over the place. And when it gets smaller and on our phones and we can't see it, we don't even know what it is half the time. And does it really communicate the end goal and the feeling behind the brand? So think past surface level. Think about how you meet the need of your audience and come up with something that's very, very simple and can be recognized on a billboard very far away or very small. Okay, so strong brand versus weak brand. Glossier, very, very simple. A lot of times they only use that G. So your logo needs to be It can be the word, but think about your icon needs to be able to stand alone on its own. So a lot of people for, beauty brands or whatever would go to something they think they have to be almost cliched about it. They have to show something like beautiful. But look, Glossier, it's a letter. And it's very recognizable, very simple. Think about Sephora. They are a beauty brand, but they don't have like makeup icons all over their brand. Their brand, they sell it, but you don't have to be cliched. It can be very, very simple. Okay. Also, this is another example of that. Someone's like, oh, I sell eyeglasses, Warby Parker. Everyone, I mean, if you don't know Warby Parker, we are all glass wearers, obviously. Look at us, we're all wearing them. Um, but they don't have anything on their logo that has to do with eyes because yeah, I call it a widget. The glasses are their widget, but they meet a need that's greater than glasses. They understand their audience, and it's not about glasses. It's about meeting a need and solving a problem for their audience and helping them feel a certain way. So if they box themselves into like optometry, then they're very locked in. So you want to understand the actual feeling and need around what your audience is and not just the cliched widget that you're selling. And Apple, think about Apple. Apple sells what? Phones and stuff. What does an Apple actually have to do with any of that? They're not like, here's a picture of a laptop as an icon. They're like, the feeling of thinking differently is all in that. Okay. And one of my favorites is Airbnb. I mean, there is like the logo on this one is so amazing. And you would think, oh, Airbnb vacation homes, a lot of people would go to something like, I need a cute icon of a house or whatever. They integrated an A, and think about what this says. Just this one little icon, what one little visual says. It says interconnected, like look, the inner part has to do with community and connecting people together, coming together in a home. And it's almost like an upside down heart, which is cool because the heart of a home is people coming together, right? And then it's an A for Airbnb, and it looks like a house. I mean, literally one icon, look what all that it does. And it's so simple. How incredible is that? So in your bold visual brand, you're going to consider your colors, fonts. By the way, fonts communicate so much. And one of the number one things I see people do when they're first building their brand and their visual brand is they mess up on fonts. Fonts they either can look very high end, very modern, or they can look very amateur and like youth. Don't think about who your audience is. Don't think about what you like. Don't think about you. Like you're not the hero. The customer is the hero. The client is the hero. The brand needs to be about the client, not about you necessarily. So think about who you're talking to. If you're talking to people in luxury, if you're talking to people that deal with trauma, if you're dealing with people that like, you have to understand who you're talking to, and those fonts and those colors communicate to them, not to you. You're trying to reach people, not yourself. So think about that when you're building your brand, and it really, really matters. And think about imagery, your style. Does it communicate? I call it a brand signature. When you put something out in the world, be very consistent in your visuals, because that brand signature makes it to where if I'm scrolling through social media, I'm going to know whether it's your content or someone else's content. If it's consistent, I'll know it's yours. And if it's not, I really won't know. So I'm trying to keep track of the time. So make sure that the more consistent you are, the more signature brand you are going to have. There's people that come through my social media feed and stuff. I know it's theirs, and I don't even have to see their name on it. I know it's theirs because their content is so consistent. The layout and the tone, is it stacked? Is it linear? When it comes to logos and when it comes to graphics and marketing materials, how does it flow and how does that communicate and what does that say? Okay, so for instance, this is an example of my brand laid out on the left. And this is how I tell people, if you don't know how to pull colors together, think about your person, your audience, What would they like? Where do they show up? What elements are they are they around all the time? And bring those elements onto a table, excuse me, and actually create a flat lay. Create a flat lay with things that you know and colors, textures, and things that would resonate with your audience and the people that you solve problems for. What would resonate with them? Put it on a flat lay, photograph it, and then literally you could bring it into Canva and color pick from it. And it's a good starter place for you. So instead of sitting there on a blank canvas on Canva or wherever it is, and you have colors, do it in the physical world. This is what interior designers do it all the time. They call it a mood board. And before they stick it on a board, they actually have a physical thing. They bring in textures and fabrics and items, and they bring it in and it says, what does this make me feel? And they pull stuff out, and it's very physical. So you can actually extract things and really narrow it down. So think less is more, 1 to 3 colors, simple. And you can always add supportive colors later for seasonal things, but essentially your base is very, very simple. Keep it clean, okay? And then you're going to create you can create a digital mood board for yourself so you can see it all laid out. And I guarantee you, if you put something in there that does not vibe well, it will stand out like a sore thumb immediately, and you'll know it doesn't work, and you can pull it out and replace it with something else that does work. Okay. So write down, this is a little assignment. You're going to write down 3 words that describe the visual vibe of your brand. 3 words. Now, I don't want a whole laundry list of words. This is why we're going to keep it very simple. 3 words that describe the visual vibe. And I know vibe, like people like, what is that word? But it's the feeling, the emotion that people get from being around you. And like you could say, the word could be minimalist, it could be maximalist, it could be calming, it could be educational, it could be empowering. What are the different words and just keep it on hand when you're building your brand. I'm sorry, keep getting choked. Okay, show it on social media. Consistent visuals matter on social media platforms. I'm sorry, I need water and don't have any. Okay. Use Canva templates. Y'all, work smarter, not harder. How many of you are familiar with Canva and use it? Oh, please say you do. Okay. If you don't, I teach a class on that, or I can teach you one-on-one. So it is really, really powerful. It's incredible because they've already done a lot of the hard work and heavy lifting for you in graphics. And you just have to you build your brand, and then you can apply your brand kit to it, and everything stays very, very consistent. So that's really, really important. Social media elements, your Instagram grid, stories, LinkedIn banners, all of it stays the same. And pro tip, your profile photo on all your social media accounts should be exactly the same. All of them. Okay. It should not be you with your family. It should not be you with your dog. It should, unless that's your brand and that's the part of who you are. However, it should be you. And the reason why it should be the same all the way across is because when I meet somebody and I'm in networking and I go to look at their platforms, I want to find them no matter where I go. And sometimes I'll go to I'll go to Instagram and they're here, I found them. Okay, now that I go to Facebook or LinkedIn and their profile photos are completely different, I don't even know it's them. So it needs to be consistent, and color, like wear your color. Like if you're known for something, wear it in that photo so that I can see you and it pops up boldly on those platforms and I can find you. And it needs to be clean, not a busy little headshot a little selfie you took. Like make it professional, and it doesn't have to be like the real, stuffy kind, but something that says who you are and is very simple. So batching using your brand colors all the way across, consistency, I always talk about that. And yeah. Okay. So here's a few accounts that I like to follow. But what they'll do, and if you can snapshot them, take a picture of the screen, it doesn't matter. But what it does is it allows you to see the aesthetic consistency of brand Also, there's another thing that has to do with brand. It's not just like, do I use the same colors? It's, am I serving my audience in a very consistent way? Most of these accounts are, they understand what their audience wants, and they're very singular in what they bring to the table. And the audience loves it. They love it. They want, like, I want to know that if I send this account to someone and say, hey, go check this out, that account's going to be like, this is what you're going to show up and you're going to find at that account. Um, so it might be the style of how they do their videos, or it might be the type of content and the level of education they bring. But there is a consistency that runs through, and it's very, very evident, and it's very powerful. Okay, so we're going to get into social media really quick, and I want you to kind of picture Instagram. And how many of you are on Instagram and use it and say, yes, me? Okay, good. I can see. Um, so one of the number one questions that I get, very popular question, is when do I post where? Like, if let's just say I'm on Instagram, when do what? How do I use the platform, and when do I post in stories, and when do I post in reels? And so I'm going to explain to you how to break it down, and hopefully this makes it easy for you so you know, and it helps you decide where you put your content. So think of the grid. I know you can't see me very well, but think of the grid, like the squares in the grid, or the reels. Think of the posts, not the reels, the posts, as curb appeal. Think of it like, if I come to your account and I scroll, I call it 312s. So 3 sections of 12. That means I'm probably scrolling 3 times to decide if I'm going to like, or if I'm going to follow someone because their content is consistent, or I resonate with the content. That is curb appeal. Think about going into a neighborhood and you see like this really cool house and you're like, ooh, I wonder what's inside there. That looks really cool. Or if the house is completely like falling apart and shambles, and you've got like the house paint's falling apart and all that, and you have a really nice car in front. I don't know, like, it's like it makes no sense. Like, it's just like kind of all over the place. That tells me whether I would want to be more interested to take it further and go inside. Okay, so this is your chance to be consistent and clear and define exactly what your account's going to be, and that says what you're like. Think about curb appeal. Okay, so reels are the entertainment space or educational space. It's a place of interaction that you bring people in and you engage them into your world. That's what reels are. And Instagram is a very video centric platform. So all of them are now. I mean, LinkedIn, please post videos on LinkedIn. Like, very important. Like, if you're going to post a video on Instagram about your business, make sure to post it on LinkedIn. It's so much more interactive than it ever was. But reels on any, like, shorts, anything on YouTube, all of these are the entertainment space. They're where you show up and shine for your audience, and you bring education and entertainment for them, and you show your face, not logos. Don't post flyers as a reel. That's not cool. Like, that's going to go into stories, and we're going to talk about that later. But flyers that you have special events or things like that, that goes in stories. That does not go on your reels. Reels is sacred. Think about that. Reels is the place where you want to show up very, very well for your audience, but they don't come, nobody goes into your house and goes, you don't put flyers everywhere. You show up and you interact with your audience in whatever way is most comfortable for you. Okay. Stories are the private spaces. They are the places, the behind the scenes, the Q&As, the daily updates, the announcements about what you have going on in your business. All of that you can do in stories. And the cool part is that algorithms function differently in stories, no matter what platform you're in. So they're not going to be as restrictive. So you're going to be they're not going to shut you down. And in reels, if you post a reel and you try to sell in a reel, it's not going to come through the feeds as much because the algorithms don't work in that favor. They're going to prioritize more in entertainment. If you posted a flyer in Reels, it won't get engagement because it's scanned by AI. It knows if you're trying to sell, and it doesn't want to prioritize you. But if you post it in stories, I go through stories and there's nothing that's going to block me. I'm going to be able to go through everyone's stories and I'm going to be able to see it. And I can go in the order of which I want. But in Reels, I'm looking at my feed and Instagram is going to prioritize that for me, right? And it wants to prioritize things that are the most popular at the time and things that are going to get the most engagement. So the algorithms are different based on where you post things. Also, stories are every 24 hours, it's going to come down. So then you can post it again and engage your audience like repeatedly about the same things over and over again. Because don't assume that they've seen it, which you can see in stories. You can see that they've seen it. And in Reels, you can see how many people have seen it, but not who has seen it. So there's like a little bit different engagement there. But if you're going to promote your business, like promote, do it in stories. If you're going to entertain and engage, do it in Reels. Okay. Your bio is your front door. This is how you're going to write your bio. You're going to talk about who you help, what you do, why it matters, and you're going to call them to action. This is a place where you get to like you show up right there and you're at the front door and you're greeting them in. You're bringing them into and telling them why they should come into the space, if that makes sense. So and also if your handle is your name on Instagram or whatever, then your first name, like with the name field, should be your what you do. So for me, my name is in the handle. It's Kelly Buckner 78. So then in my where it says first name, I'm going to put brand strategist. So I'm not going to duplicate my name in both places because that's a waste. What I would, if you have your brand, it's in the handle, then maybe your name field would be your first and last name. So make sure that every single field you maximize of what it is, and you give people a chance to search for you because all of those words, all of that is searchable in those platforms. Okay. Oh, and lastly, I will say call people to action. There is a space in the bio that says that you put your website. We'll say click on link or tell people what to do. Shop here or book a session. Like tell people how you want them to interact with you in the bio. Your DMs are your kitchen table. It's where you build relationships. So encourage people and take conversations back there and build relationships with people in messages. It's just the same as text message. It's just a different format. So some people communicate that way. And if your client reaches out to you by that, don't worry about it. That's a great way to make a connection with them. It's a very it's a relationship building place. That's where if someone DMs you, it's a big deal. Unless it's like spam, then you just delete that and block that. Okay. So you can snapshot this if you want to, and you can photograph it. It's a kind of a snapshot of what I just talked about. And it's an overview of everything. So you can kind of remember it if you would like. I'll give 1 second to do that. And okay, so we're going to talk about smartphone. Smartphone photo video is essentially this is a way to grab really great content that's only yours. Every time you take a photo, every time you take a video, you own that content. No, it's original content that has never existed before if you take the photo. Now, I do use stock photography sometimes in certain situations, but I'm a former wedding photographer. So my jam is to pick up my phone and just take photos and videos. Lighting is everything, y'all. Lighting is everything. Like when you video yourself, if you are on video, make sure you are standing in front of a window light or some sort of a light. If you use a ring light, don't stick it right in front of your face. Stick it here or here and frame yourself. So like right now, I have a ring light that's right here and it's not in front of my face so that you don't get the little rings. But open the windows, open a door, make sure that there's plenty of light because that's going to be the difference between me stopping and seeing what you have to say or not. If you're sitting there and it's all darked out and it's in shade, then it doesn't stop me and it's not interesting. Stabilize your shots. Use a tripod. There's going to be a link at the end that you can, scan if you want to get the tripod. But if you go to kellybuckner.com and click on shop, I have a lot of gadgets there that you can go to. Clean your lens all the time. A huge problem I see is people have fuzzy lenses and their content looks terrible because their screen is all fuzzy and not clear. Framing, make sure you're framing. If you see I'm like in this zone, I'm not in this like in the center. Don't always feel like you have to center yourself. I sit up, sit tall, and I'm in my head's in the top third. It really, really, really matters. And I teach classes and one-on-ones on that. Sound quality, use a mic. If you're doing talking head videos on social media or on your website, for your website, mic yourself. It's really inexpensive. Again, you can get it on my website, but it's like 40 bucks for a lapel and you just stick it on there and the sound is incredible compared to not having it. Okay. Very easy, cheap fix, and it's essential. And editing tools for videos. Canva, you can do great videos in Canva. My favorite is InShot. I also use CapCut. But Instagram just came out with a new app called Edits, and they have their own. So CapCut is associated with TikTok. It's under the same company brand, but now Instagram is like, we need one. So they came up with what's called Edits. So it's a free editing video program. That is synced right with Instagram and you can log it right in. It's really cool. And there probably will be a pro version that you can pay for eventually, but or maybe now, I don't know. But it's brand new. So make sure to download Edits and you can actually have access to all the music that Instagram offers, which is really cool. Okay. Content ideas for you creating your own content with this wonderful tool right here. Behind the scenes content of what you're doing, interview your clients, quick tips. And we'll talk about Blink Captions app really quick. That's my favorite app of 2024 and 2025. Client shout outs and testimonials. Interview your clients. Ask them, say, hey, can you pop up a video real quick and actually like just do a 30-second reel for me and tell me about the experience you had with working with me. Like they'll do it. Like you just have to ask for it. I always tell my daughter, ask, the answer can only be no. I mean, why not? And then they can text it to you and you can pop it into stories and say how excited you are. It's really, really easy to do and free. And maybe they could post it on their stories and then you could share it. Stories are if you want your people to share your content, stories are much more shareable. People are much more willing to share it than they are posts. They will not share to their own feed, but they will share a post to stories or they'll share a story to a story. That's way more viable. And transformations, before and afters, if that's what you're into, before and afters are really powerful. And a lot of those are really great. You can do reels of those. You can also put them in stories. Showcasing your product and service, be very, very creative, but understand your audience when you're showcasing a product. Understand your audience. Who is your audience and how would they want to see the product show up on the platforms? It's really, really important. Let's go back to Blink Captions app. I know I'm going fast, but I want to make sure to cover it. So literally write down your questions if you have them and I'll answer. Blink Captions app by Vozo is a little purple icon in the store. It's awesome. It's $47 a year, worth every penny and more. It is a teleprompter app. Okay. And it's an AI script writer. So you can literally do a prompt and say you want a script about blah, 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 blah. Just put in the prompt and it will write your script for you. And it will be, and then you hit record and it works like it's a teleprompter. And you just put your phone up on a tripod and you just read it and it slows down and speeds up based on how fast you talk. It's incredible. And the features are insane. They're amazing. And it's worth every penny and more. So if you have you want to do talking head videos where you want to speak to your audience or train or give tips and you're like, I don't want to write that. Like, I don't want to spend time doing that. Well, there's an app for that and it's awesome. And the scripts that it does write are kind of long. So you can chop them up and do them, make them much shorter, which is what is viable on social media. But it does all the work for you and heavy lifting and it edits. It edits on the back end after you export it. It adds captions and does all the editing on it's like an editing program and a recording and teleprompter and script writing. It's kind of awesome. Okay, show it on your marketing materials, flyers, business cards, digital downloads, and pitch decks. All of it can be done on Canva, and Canva just did a big Canva Create just released a huge huge thing this year about all their AI, and they do Canva coding. They can create little cool apps for you that you can add to your websites. I mean, like, y'all, Canva is a disruptor. It's amazing. Um, and you can repurpose your format. So you can create long content and for your marketing materials, and then chop it up, one piece of content, and then chop it up and use it multiple places. You need to audit your visual cohesion. This is a big deal because what I tell people is say, don't wake up in a mood. Don't wake up in a mood and then be like, I'm now going to do this. I'm going to show up in this. I saw someone do this and I liked it, so I'm going to do this. And then the next week you're like, I'm going to do this. No, stick in your lane, choose a lane and go for it and be be an expert at that for a whole year. Like do the same thing for a year, but perfect it. Be an expert at that one thing on social media or your website. It should be like the one thing that you're an expert at, because people will remember that. They can't if you go to a networking group and then people tell you and they say all the things they do and there's like 10 things they do and you're like, I don't remember what you just said. But if they said one really great thing, you would remember it. That's what I'm talking about. Like over and over and over again. Okay, so this is an example of marketing. And if you see, the logo can be very simple icon. It's just a gold, if you look really closely, you can see a gold globe. That's it, that's the icon. But the marketing can be very, very elaborate and very creative. So just because your logo is very simple doesn't mean the brand, you don't have to put all your creativity of your marketing in your logo. That's where you can have a lot more fun if you keep your logo simple and then the marketing itself and all the graphics kind of spin off from it. That's how it usually works. And if you create your own content, take your own photos, do your own videos, it's way more impactful and it makes a lot of impact in the world. But be very consistent in your marketing. Very, very, very consistent. Your email campaigns are the same way. I use Canva and Constant Contact for mine. You can use MailChimp or whatever, or Flowdesk or whatever is right for you. But your email campaigns are the same. All your graphics should stem from Canva or whatever your marketing comes from. It's very, very consistent and bring value. Okay, email campaigns, we're all tired of getting everyone's email, right? Well, bring value. Don't talk about how great your business is doing. You are not the hero, they are. So in your business, don't do a newsletter that talks about all the things that your business is doing. Your job in your email campaign is to educate and bring value to your audience. They will be more likely to read it and want to engage with it. So it's better that it's simple and about them, and then you'll have way more results. And then call them to action after that, like book a session or something, but bring them value in the email campaigns. So important. I can't tell you, I never read email campaigns that are about the company, ever, not once. I will read an email campaign if they're going to give me value. Send me a video that tells me how to do something, or a blog post that educates me. I'll read that all the time. Okay, show it in your presentations, just like you're seeing here. My colors are yellow, black, and white. You see it's very consistent all the way through. The style is consistent. You don't need crazy transitions that flip and twist and jump and, you don't need all that. Simple, less. Remember, we're overstimulated. So when you do transitions and videos and stuff, keep it simple as much as possible. And I'm almost done. What is the main purpose? Think about your website. What's the main purpose? I want you to think of the one thing, one reason that you send people to your website. So many people are like making their website about them. They need to make the website about their audience. Now you can go and follow Donald Miller. He's awesome and he does StoryBrand, and you'll see him do analytics on websites. It is incredible. Like, he will break it down and make it small. No jargon. Cut all jargon out and make it like an 8-year-old and an 88-year-old could understand it. Simple, simple. Break it down in layman's terms for your audience, and and use the word you. Like you, and it's about your stuff, not this is about me. Even though the website maybe has your name on it, it's about them, the value they get. And And think about visual. All the visuals need to be very consistent, simple, clean. I use Squarespace. I switched from WordPress to Squarespace not too long ago, and I just absolutely love it. That's my personal preference. Again, everything needs to be consistent. Oh, that's for a different presentation. Sorry, ignore that. Ignore that. Okay, so this is Get the Gadget. Okay, so Get the Gadget is my section on my website where you can get all my gadgets. Okay, my mics, my tripods, my lights, all kinds of things. Hover drones, whatever. So if you want to take better content and all of that, make sure to get this. And then you can also just click shop on my website. It'll take you there. Okay, thank you.
Yay, thank you, Kelly. That was awesome. So much wonderful information. We have a couple of questions, Kelly.
Okay.
Lorraine asked earlier, can we use brand colors and logo on Canva with a free version, or do you recommend a fee paid account?
Okay. So I do recommend the paid. Okay, so I'm going to explain why. Okay. And no, you can't I think you get one brand kit with the free, I think. But it's very limited. Here's why. From someone who's paid a lot of money in graphics over the years, this might be one of the cheapest things in the entire world to get for what you get. Okay. I can't even believe that they're charging so little for the value that you do get. I really am serious. And I don't make a dime from it. So this is like, there's no value for me saying this, except for the fact that it does benefit you more. It's either free. Okay. Their programs are it's free or you get everything. There's not like A, B, and C options. It's literally like you get a little tiny bit or you get the whole world of Canva, and only for like $12 a month. And y'all, that a burger doesn't even cost that. And like what, like that's cheaper than a burger. So like amazing that they even offer that. And the new stuff that they do, the AI, the design, all the features they have now, well worth it. Background remover. I mean, the amount of features that are in the pro that are just astronomically worth it. I would say pay for it. If you have to cancel something else out, it's worth it. It's just awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. I pay for it. I use it all the time for my newsletter, my posts in LinkedIn, flyers, lead magnets, etc. Thank
Yeah.
you, Kelly. Second question from actually from April. What was the name of the recommendation for the new songs or sounds in a system?
Then I'm sorry, let me look at it.
April, you want to come on
Yeah.
I
and
can, yeah. I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
I wasn't taking notes, and that is like terrible for me, but you were going so fast and I was like, man, I should have been at my desk. But it was something about a new system that had just released this new thing. And the last part that I heard about it was that you could get all of the sounds for free or all of the songs for free. It was like before the story brand, it was before the
Yeah.
oh, what's this other one? Before the
Had to do with Instagram.
thank you.
Oh, it's called edits.
Thank you. It was before the
Yeah.
teleprompter thing, is
I'm
what I
sorry.
was gonna
It just fell out of my head, and I was like, "What are we talking about?" Okay. Yes, it's edit. So it's like CapCut's now competitor.
Okay.
It's called Edits, and it's
Thank
free. And I've been using it for free. They probably will have a pro version, available because they all do. But yeah, it's really, really good. And yeah,
So it's an app that you can download called Edit.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Edits by Instagram. I'll write it in the chat.
Thank you. Edits by Instagram. Okay.
And then the other one that I do recommend everyone download because it's incredible. It's incredible. I'll just put it in here. Link Captions by Vozo is the app that changed my whole life. Like if you are kind of fearful about being on video, y'all, It makes it to where you can, like you can do it. All you have to do is read. And you practice and you get more and more comfortable the more you do it, but you don't have to like, I'll give you an example. I went to an event, I had just learned about it, and there was a guy that was like, we were just talking and he said, "Oh, I have to spend the whole afternoon. I got to write a script and do this video. I'm so dreading it." And he was literally telling me his whole problem. Like I could have just been like, "Hey, I have a solution for you." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, hold on a minute." And I had a tripod with me because I was already doing videos for something else. And I grabbed my tripod and I said, "What is your video supposed to be about?" And I put in the prompt into the app, and then I said, "Go." And then I said, "Here's a script." And I said, I put it up on the tripod and I said, "Read that." And I gave him a microphone. I mic'd him. And then within 5 minutes, we had the script written, videoed, and it was in his Dropbox folder. So he saved a whole afternoon.
Kelly, could you give the slide where you summed up everything again, please?
Yes. For the social media, is that what it was?
Wendy?
No, it was the one you said if you want to Snapchat this, and I just fumbled around. I didn't get the Snapchat organized to do it. It was
Okay.
there. It is. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that okay? Let me take a picture of that. Thank you.
Yes. That one, and it ask for any of the other ones. That one is for yeah, the social media grid, the reels, like where to show up.
Perfect. That was yes, because that was so succinct. Thank you.
Uh-huh. See if I can get a screen.
Kelly, which I have a question about that. I have an Instagram account and I'm not organized on if it's a post, a reel, a story. Where would you say if we want to grow our followers in Instagram, where should we really focus our time or spend our time on? Creating posts, reels,
Reels.
or story? Reels.
So, okay, so the difference between post and reels is that reels are all your videos. It used to be like IGTV, but then now it's all reels now. So like there's posts and reels, and there you can click back and forth on the tabs and
Yeah.
change and see them. The posts are the combination of your photos and your reels that show up on the it's everything. Now, when you post a reel, you can choose whether it shows up on the profile or not, like whether it shows up on the grid, the main grid or not. Not all reels have to show up on the profile grid. You can
Oh.
choose when you're posting your reel whether you want it to be there or not. And you can select and make sure, okay, y'all, pro tip for consistency purposes, please make sure that you choose your cover photos for your reels. You can do that when you're posting it. You can actually edit and change your cover photo. And I use a template in Canva that like is already there, and you can swap out the photo and change the text and it looks the same all the time. So you can create a reel just go into Canva and type in Instagram reel cover, and they will give you a bunch of templates that you can use, and then you can just swap the text and the photo out for that, and then make sure that your covers are consistent. They don't have to be the same. Don't put the same photo. It's just the same feel over and over again. But choose what goes on the front of those reels, because when I'm scrolling through your reels, which I do a lot on people's content, I choose which reel to click on based on what that cover photo looks like. It matters.
I had no idea that you could do that.
Yes. So make sure that you control the vibe of what's on the front covers. It's really, really important. Can I use blink captions with my computer? I don't think so, but I will look into that. I don't think so, but it's okay. Blink captions app is meant for on the go. So it's meant to create videos so that you can use a teleprompter anywhere you are. That's what it's for. It's meant to be like mobile. So you can grab, you can also do a voiceover with it. So you can flip the camera and then create the script and then video something else and talk over it. So it doesn't have to be you on the camera. It can be, you at an event and then you're talking about it. I hope that makes sense.
And that's
Can you
with
send a
link.
PowerPoint? I don't normally share the PowerPoints with everybody, but just because it's my
This is
what's the word? I can't
proprietary.
think of.
But this is going to be everyone. This is being recorded and we posted in our YouTube, our ICF Houston YouTube channel. So I
Perfect.
will post that in the comments.
Perfect.
And also I remind everyone where that link is and who our speakers are in our WhatsApp group. We have a Coach Launchpad WhatsApp group. If you want me to add you to that group, please send me a WhatsApp to my phone number, which is right here. That's me.
And I will put my information in the chat really quick. I am host. Do you mind if I tell about the Academy?
Please go,
Okay.
Kelly.
Okay, so I'm collaborating with another brander who does story brand. She's an expert at that, and I'm an expert at like brands with visuals. So starting in the fall, we're going to be taking applicants very soon. But it's a brand academy, and it's going to be a 6-month program, and we're going to meet in person one time a month for 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, and then Zoom calls in between. It's a very intensive program. We're going to be covering smartphone photography in alignment with Story Brand. We're going to be doing Canva in alignment with Story Brand, website, email campaigns, social media, all in alignment with your brand. And we're only taking 15 people into this program. So if you are interested in the program, you can also go to kellybuckner.com and join my email list because we will be announcing it out. And then, or you can email me if you're interested in information about it.
Thank you, Kelly.
Mhm.
Any other questions? I don't think we missed any of the ones that were on the comments. As you are thinking about your questions, I always like to take a picture, a group picture. So I am going to, I guess, yeah. So if you want to be on the picture, please put your cameras on. If you don't want to be on the picture, turn your camera off. And I will. And I post this in LinkedIn, by the way. So hopefully we're connected in LinkedIn. If we're not, connect with me.
Is the view, do you want to change the view so that it's all the grids? Because I'm still seeing.
I have it as gallery.
Okay.
It's probably because I still have you on. Okay, so remove spotlight,
There we go.
view, gallery. Okay, so I am going to take a picture. Okay, ready? All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. I will post this in LinkedIn. We have 5 minutes left. Anybody else have any questions for Kelly? Kelly, this has been so informative, insightful. We've learned a lot from you. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry if I went really fast. I'm always so terrified not to cover it all.
Don't apologize. You have so much to share. I know you, so you have so much knowledge to share with all your years in doing this. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
And people are saying thank you. And again, please send me a text through WhatsApp if you want me to add you to our WhatsApp group. Connect with me in LinkedIn if you want to see the picture. And otherwise, Kelly, thank you again. And I will see you guys again in a month, second Monday of each month at 12 noon. I'll announce the speaker on the WhatsApp group. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.